Here's the Tesla Model 3's biggest design flaws. Before I get into this, I just want to quickly mention, I posted this on Twitter. Tesla Model 3 biggest design flaws, go. And I think I had like 100 comments on Tesla owners just naming off all these design flaws, and I picked the most favorite one out of all of them. So here I have 15. Let's get right into it. Number one, we don't have an auto open and close for the Frunk. It's super annoying. The trunk now has it, but what about the Frunk? I always accidentally hit the button in the car and the Frunk just pops open, and then I have to get out and close it. Or if my hands are full and I just want to throw stuff in there, or if I just want to open it up before, I really wish it can just open and close. Number two, the automatic windshield wipers are a bust. That's pretty much the best way to put it. They work, but they don't work at the same time. One of my biggest things with the auto wipers that really gets me going is when you leave it on auto and you get out of the car or in the car and the windshield is still wet from the rain, so you go to open your car door, it will automatically just fling the water towards the driver door into your face pretty much, and then leak down into the car and onto the door panel. It's just a mess, and auto wipers don't seem that bad. In my past car, they were fantastic. I don't know what's going on in this car. On top of that, when you're driving, depending on how hard the rain is, it will go either very slow or very fast. And I notice in light drizzles, it will start to go crazy, crazy fast for no reason, like full speed. So I don't know why, but this needs to be fixed. Number three, this was a big one voted on Twitter. This car has no blind spot indicators. I don't know why, I have no idea, but the price point of this car should have blind spot indicators. It's really not that hard, and this car has such crazy features, you'd think it'd just have it. I personally would love to have like a light on the mirror, in the mirror, or around the mirror or something like that rather than on the screen. But I think this should be fixed in Tesla's redesign for the Model 3, and I was surprised it wasn't fixed in the 2021 version. The next one I want to talk about is interior noise while you're driving. Listen. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a mix of certain things. And I understand that a Tesla is a very quiet car, so you can hear a lot of road noise, no problem. But I hear rattles and wind noise, and I think just stuff isn't secure in the doors and like in other parts that the car is made, and I think there's panel gaps that are a little bit big in the glass that cause a lot of wind noise. Now this car doesn't have it that bad, but I know a lot of people with old and new Model 3s in particular that really have a lot of wind noise. Sometimes it sounds like there's a hole in the glass or something. It's that crazy of wind noise or that crazy of rattling. Interesting. Number five, the Model 3 has no overhead handles. These are the handles that you kind of just grab when you're just hanging out. They're the handles when you're driving really hard and accelerating really hard, your passengers might want to hold, or for other uses like hanging stuff up on there. I find these things pretty useful, and I find a lot of people were complaining on Twitter this car does not have them. This is my number 6, and this was not voted on Twitter or anything. This is just in my opinion. And keep in mind, I know this has got to come in the future. It really should. But Tesla needs a little bit more features on their design your Model 3 section for when you build your car before you even buy it. So one thing that I would really love is like different options for seats. I want cooled seats, or I want heated seats, or I want both, or I want sport seats. Or maybe I want air suspension, or I just want the regular suspension. And I'm willing to pay X amount of dollars for these more things. Now I understand right now it's a little bit hard because of the production line and they can't keep up with the demand, but I hope to see some cool things where people will pay extra for more options. I find that as an easy way for Tesla to make some more money in certain areas. For example, let's say down the production line, all of a sudden my car comes up and boom, the cooled seats get dropped in, and let's say that was an extra $1,000, and let's say Tesla profits 500 or something off that. So I see this becoming something very cool for Tesla and very profitable in the future. But as of right now, with the factory lines being jammed up, it's pretty hard, but I hope they do it. So if you don't know anything about Tesla, does this confuse you? Do you ask, how do I get out of this thing? Is it this handle, emergency handle there? Is it this window button, or is it this actual door button? And then once you do get the door open, it's just weird. It's a weird experience, and I think it could be better stated and better advertised, or just a different design in how you open this door. I love it when you know how to open this door, but for example, like Uber drivers struggle every day with people not knowing how to open the door because they're new to the car. But as an owner, it's awesome. But as a new person, it's really confusing. On top of their confusing design that promotes people to pull this, the actual string that connects to the manual unlocking mechanism is very weak and thin, and it's only made to be used several times. And it's really supposed to be used only in emergency. I'm going to do this for an example here, but it will show a warning when you pull this. And that it may cause damage to the trim. So it's risky to pull it that way, but then why didn't you make the design better to where people know to open the door here and it's just more natural to reach here rather than here? Number 8, the rear view mirror is almost useless. And if you own a Model 3, you know this. Sometimes I will turn the thing up and forget I even turned the mirror up and you can't see anything because it's so useless as it is. Your side mirrors are really your best bet, or the reverse camera. Very rarely will you ever find yourself looking out of the rear view mirror and needing it. It's just way too high up. You see the top windshield of cars, or maybe a big truck, but regular sedans, you can barely see them. Number 9, this one was by far the most voted one on Twitter. This car does not come with Apple CarPlay or Android CarPlay. Man, it drives me crazy. I've seen Apple CarPlay at its finest, and it's really seamless. It's really nice, and I love how obviously it's connected to your phone, and same with Android. I really wish Tesla just added this in. I would pay for it. It would be awesome if they did, because it could be just done in a software update. I'm not sure if Tesla and Apple have something going against each other. Yeah, they do, but I'm sure they do, and they don't want to put it in, but man, it would really benefit us owners if that was in there. Number 10, I can see this one coming in the future, and this is an app store. I can see people developing apps on there and making their living off doing what they love. I can see owners like me wanting different apps. For example, I would love an app that can change the theme, where I can move things around or change it or change colors or something like that, instead of it being so plain and boring all the time, kind of like a desktop background. The other thing I can see is, what if I want to delete my games and then add some different ones in there from the App Store? Let's say people made their own, and maybe even online games or something. I can see an App Store being quite endless, and I think it's about time they add that in. That's a big flaw right now. Number 11, you can't adjust amps on your phone. I don't know why, but when you're charging and you're away from your car and you want to just quickly change the amps down to lower, maybe you're coming close to 100% charge and you just want to lower it down a little bit, or whatever your reason is, you can't. You have to go in your car to do this and preset it before you leave your car. Number 12, the beloved sunroof. Us owners would love a sunroof. Everybody asks about, does this car have a sunroof? But Tesla hates the sunroof, and let me tell you why. So Tesla hates this because in the Model S back in the day when they had it in there, it was really flawed. It would leak, it would break, it would get stuck open in the rain, and you'd hear all these disaster stories. I don't know why, but Tesla just couldn't get it right, and once again, it was something that would just slow down the manufacturing line. But Tesla's gotten a little bit swift now, and I think the sunroof would be an awesome option, and I'm also surprised it wasn't in this new Model 3 update. Number 13, this car has crazy small cup holders. You can fit like a soda can, you can fit a small drink, but you can't really fit anything bigger. As a heavy water drinker myself, I love to have a big jug in the car, and I really don't want it rolling around in the back or banging up on the seats. I want it just in the cup holder. Now my solution is, I got this thing on Amazon that is like a big cup holder that goes to a small one. It's like a converter, and you can fit a big cup in there. And the cool thing is you can pull this thing out and then put it away when you don't need it, so it still looks good. The car looks great. But I think Tesla needs a bigger cup holder. For example, in my older car, they had these little like spring-loaded pointy things, and you can put any size cup in there, no matter small or big. Only huge cups couldn't fit, but it was still pretty cool having those like spring-loaded prongs that you can fit any size cup in there. I think Tesla needs to do that. Number 14, massively upvoted on Twitter for this one. There's no cross-traffic alerts or indications. and they have all the sensors in the world in there to do it. Let me tell you what this is for an example. So let's say I'm in a parking spot and I want to reverse out of there. You can't see because you have two cars next to you blocking you, right? You use your reverse camera as best as you can, but it doesn't go wide enough. But what you could use is the sensors to alert you if there's traffic coming crossway when you're trying to reverse. Tesla has the connections and sensors to do that. They just don't have it in there yet. I could see this coming in a software update, but for how futuristic this car is with autopilot, you might as well think it would have cross-traffic updates for reversing out of parking spots. A lot of pretty low-end cars have that now, so I would hope to see that coming soon. And it's as easy as an update too. Number 15, the final one here. This is kind of like a big flex, and I think this is why the Model X was so popular and what helped Tesla become what it is. But I think these cars should have auto closing front doors, just like the Tesla Model X. They're pretty convenient, but aside that, they actually help Tesla's marketing because they're really cool, and I think they're very Tesla-like, if that makes sense. When I think of a Tesla, one of the things I think of are the Falcon doors, but I also think of the auto-closing doors in the Model X and how cool and convenient they are. As a videographer and YouTuber, I have a ton of stuff in my hands when I get in my car, and if I can just push the brake and the doors close, oh man, that would mean the world to me. And I think it's also just a cool feature to have that is a pretty good selling point for the car. Well, you guys, these things were made for you to comment your thoughts down below. So I encourage you guys to comment down there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's some more. Be sure to like and do all that to the comments down below so we can get some better ideas here. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.